Tonight on SportsDesk, rivalry renewed. Our Inside Pitch crew breaks down this weekend's Miami-Florida State series.
Leaving for the off-season, our Hurricane Hangtime crew sends Canes hoops off.
Culture on the court. Hear how the Canes men's tennis team unites, despite their different backgrounds.
All that and more.
SportsDesk starts right now.
I'm Ed Reed, and you're watching SportsDesk.
Hi, I'm Jim Kelly, former UM guy. You're watching SportsDesk.
What's up? I'm DJ Williams, and y'all watching SportsDesk.
Hello and welcome back to SportsDesk. I'm Penelope Gilbert.
And I'm Jordan Cirillo. Thank you for joining us. Penelope, Canes baseball was not looking too hot against Florida State last night.
Yeah, Jordan, it hurts seeing the Canes lose, and it hurts even more seeing the Canes lose to the Noles. Miami baseball got their rivalry series going against Florida State last night, and let's just say it wasn't pretty. Let's take you to Mark Light Field to see how the Canes fared against the Seminoles. It's a Thursday night here at Mark Light Field. Here's last night's starting pitcher, Nick Robert. He hasn't been too hot lately, but he gets a strikeout early in the game to get things going for the Canes. Next up, it's Galvin up to bat. He swings and misses, but Ogden is quick to get down to center base for a steal there. Then we got freshman Fabio Peralta up to bat. He absolutely smashes it far into right field, and it is gone over the wall, putting a run on the board for Miami and getting the outfielder his first home run as a Miami Hurricane. What a moment for him. Florida State then will bunt the ball here, but then it's Robert with a quick pickup and throw over to Gonzalez on first base, picking the Noles off for an out right there. Later in the game, Robert with another much-needed strikeout. Then it's Florida State with another low hit, but Ogden catches it on the fly. A great defensive effort there to round out the night. Miami drops the first game of the series against Florida State 14-1.
Canes baseball is coming off a couple of rough weeks, including a loss to Florida State just last night. Our Inside Pitch crew is live in studio to break down what's been going wrong and what the Canes have to do to beat the Noles tonight. Guys?
Thanks, guys. Welcome to Inside Pitch. I'm your host, Ashley Friedland, joined by analyst Jake Baum, and let's get right into it. Miami lost to Wake Forest last weekend in a 3-game series. What are the key takeaways the Canes need to do better?
Well, Ashley, you know the song Demon by Imagine Dragons? Well, Winston-Salem, North Carolina is where the Demon Deacons hid this past weekend against the Canes, and it was really ugly. On Friday night, a shutout of the Miami Hurricanes, 8-0, only managing 3 hits, striking out 11 times, and it wasn't any prettier on Saturday. Yet after a 4-0 lead, they got 5 unanswered runs against them, got walked off in the 10th. In the second game on Saturday, it wasn't much better. 10-12 after taking a lead to begin the game, 7 unanswered runs. It's just an ugly weekend. Let's hoping we can turn it around against Florida State, but not looking too encouraging after yesterday.
It was a little bit disappointing yesterday. Nick Robert was up to pitch, and he had a few mistakes. So what does he need to adjust to make sure his next innings are a little bit better?
Well, what do you need when you start an opening weekend series, let alone against an ACC opponent? You need a tone setter, and Nick Robert has not been that guy this season. 2-4 to start the season with a 7.57 ERA, allowing 9 home runs, abysmal. On top of that, if you want to look for a silver lining, a 36-9 strikeout to walk ratio, but you can't have that sustain itself over the course of a season. I would look for J.D. Arteaga to maybe look towards like Griffin Hughes, maybe move him into that Friday night role.
Absolutely, there are a few options there for him, but live reporter Max Keller is at Mark Light Field right now. Max, what does the energy feel like over there?
Yeah, Ashley, despite Miami's rocky start to the season, Hurricane fans are filling the seats here at Mark Light Field for a Friday night matchup against Florida State. It's arguably the biggest rivalry in collegiate sports, and these two teams have played a total of 303 baseball games since 1951. In the series, Florida State has the edge, 163-136, and a 6-4 record in the last 10 matchups. In 2024, Florida State sent their fans home happy with a series sweep against the Hurricanes in J.D. Arteaga's first season as Miami's head coach. As a player, head coach Arteaga went 10-15 against Florida State, and you can bet he's hungry for his first victory as a skipper against the school's biggest rivals. But baseball isn't the only thing on the agenda tonight. The Miami Maniac, will be renewing his wedding vows with Mrs. Maniac on their anniversary. So love is in the air tonight, but can the Hurricanes sniff out a victory against their biggest rivals? Guys?
I guess we'll have to see, and congratulations to the Maniac, but now it's time for Bomb's Bets. Jake, what are the adjustments Cane baseball needs to do to make sure they can finish the rest of the series strong?
Well, you got to start strong, right? And you got to put that offense on the field on Fridays. You got to come out swinging, but only 5 combined runs in their last 4 opening series matchups. You can't have that. Spoiler alert, they dropped all 4. But also you got to be patient. The Canes have the 2nd worst OBP on base percentage in the ACC and the 3rd most strikeouts. You got to be more patient and take your walks. But on top of that, you got to give the bullpen a breather. The starters haven't gone more than 5 innings pitched in any of the weekend series other than one by Griffin Ugis, like I was mentioning earlier, and the bullpen's getting overworked. They're tired, not sustainable for the entire season.
Absolutely. That is all the time we have for you today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Ashley and Jake. He's usually a chipper fellow, but watching Canes baseball has filled him with sorrow, and he bellows, and now he is no longer mellow. Johnny Muschin, take it away.
Yes, everyone, I did know that there was not an episode last week, and I promise I didn't show up accidentally to the studio all day wondering when the rest of the cast is going to come in. And I also haven't been sleeping in the studio all week, hoping to film a new episode. I promise. But it does feel great to be back here on Behind the Post. Once again, I'm Johnny Muschin, and I'm your host. Guys, I think I have a new favorite sport. It's not just football, it's spring football. The Canes are currently getting ready for next season at Hard Rock, while Cam Ward had a workout session with some of the young guys here in the community. Now, they debated on whether Florida or Texas had better football, and I personally think that East Rutherford, New Jersey has the greatest spot for football. That's right, Cam Ward, you have New York Giant written all over you. Now, the Canes track team recently received some impressive accolades as Gabriella Grissom, Solomon Strader, and Edgar Campry were all named Coaches Association All-Americans. And when you see them in action, it makes sense why they're seen as some of the best in the nation. Things must be going great for all the Hurricanes teams, right? Oh, baseball. Okay, well, over spring break, the Hurricanes played 9 total games, and it started off with a crazy performance against UConn where they lost. And then they lost again to lose the whole series. And then they lost in Orlando to UCF in the midweek, and then they lost to Wake Forest again and again and again. But hey, the Canes did see a win this week up in Boca Raton, which set them up for Florida State this weekend, where they continued their momentum again by losing. Again. Okay, but who wants to watch Canes win when you can watch the Miami Maniac renew his wedding vows? What? Well, I gotta get going, guys. If I keep talking about Canes baseball, I might start sobbing. And as always, when you see my face on your TV, just know the best of Canes socials is what you're about to see. I'm Johnny Muschin, and I just took all of you behind the post. Back to you.
Thanks, Johnny. Coming up on Sports Desk, one soccer player uses his talents to impact children in a positive light. Stay with us.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Soccer is a beloved sport around the world, and one player has brought his passion from Africa to the United States. Ashley Friedland has the story.
In Guinea, soccer was more than a game, but a way of life. And for Fode, he lived it. Watching his sister on the field made him fall in love with the sport.
My country is soccer country, West Africa. My big sister started to play soccer, and she always take me to the soccer ground. And then watching her, it made me fall in love with the game.
His passion took him far beyond Guinea to Thailand, a country where everything is different, but soccer is universal.
From Africa, I went first in Asia. It was a big switch because I didn't speak the language or anything, so I went there to play. Sports speaking the same language.
Soccer kept Fode focused while others around him struggled. He used soccer to transform his life.
Soccer helped me to stay away from the bad thing on the street. Growing up in Africa, you can see more bad thing than food.
Now he's making sure the next generation has equipment he didn't have. He is building a school where kids can train, learn, and dream.
The most important thing for me into it is the equipment. But in Africa, that's the challenge, like I say, grow up playing on the street. That's our soccer field. But there, I think if we have something for the kid in Africa, I think it will help them a lot.
For Fode, it's about more than just soccer. It's about connection and bridging two worlds so kids can see beyond their own.
My school I'm building is all about, trying to connect the kids, from here and there. I think it will help a lot to change life and change the mentality. So that's my passion. I want to do that.
Soccer was never just a game, but a way forward. And now Fode is using it to change lives. Ashley Friedland, UMTV.
Thanks, Ashley. It might be a wrap for Hurricanes basketball, but there's still plenty to cover looking to next year. Hurricane Hangtime crew is back again with the latest in Canes hoops. Guys.
Hello and welcome back to another segment of Hurricane Hangtime. I'm your host, Riley McManus, joined by Gio Alonso and Tucker Kinney. Starting off, the men's team has just received a new head coach for the upcoming season, former Duke assistant coach Jay Lucas. Gio, tell us more about the press conference that just occurred.
Well, yeah, Riley, Miami introduced Jay Lucas as their next men's head basketball coach in a press conference on March 10th, and he said a lot of interesting things in that press conference. One of the main points I want to highlight is when he set expectations for Miami on the offensive and defensive sides of the basketball.
We will be relentless in everything we do. Defensively, our resistance to keep the other team out the paint will be relentless. We will be relentless in hunting for the best shot we can get every possession. We'll be relentless in everything we do.
Of course, it is hard to judge a coach based off of just a press conference. He said all the right things, but there is one thing that I am a bit wary of, or let's call it cautiously optimistic. Now, if you look at Jay Lucas's previous stops, he's been an outstanding recruiter everywhere he's been, at Texas, at Kentucky, at Duke, top 10, top 5, even #1 ranked classes in the nation. But here is the issue. Miami is coming off of, statistically speaking, the worst season in the history of the program. Will Coach Lucas be able to recruit at the same level, or how long will it take him to get to that level?
Thank you, Gio. Tucker, the women's team's season was disappointing. Give us an evaluation of how their season went overall and what's to come moving forward.
Well, Riley, considering the losing 14-15 record and a failure to reach the ACC tournament, one might be quick to write this season off as just that, a failure. But I think in context, there's a different story. Tricia Cullop compared to her predecessor, Katie Meyer. Well, Meyer also had losing records in some of her earliest years at the U. And now going forward, Tricia Cullop can now have more time, similar to what Meyer has had over decades, to recruit her own players and imprint her own philosophy on this team. No longer will she have to use other coaches' players. And I think that is a reason for hope going forward.
Thank you, Tucker. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, guys. The Miami Open kicked off this past week, showcasing Miami's vibrant culture throughout the tournament. From lively dances to delicious food, MK Eason has more.
Miami Open is an annual tennis tournament that draws in top players and fans from around the world. Miami's vibrant setting and variety of culture is something that local businesses value and look forward to displaying at the Open every year. Local businesses like Miami Slice, Omakai, and Bodega take pride in their work and value the importance of Miami culture at big sporting events like the Open.
You see all these brands that are, 10 years ago were practically unknown, and now we're practically one of the biggest international stages and showing the world that Miami is ready to become a globally recognized city.
For many business owners and employees, putting Miami culture on the international stage is bigger than themselves.
We're, immigrants from Venezuela. We started during pandemic, and the business have been growing since then. So, now we are considered one of the best cities in Miami.
With the Open attracting over 300,000 visitors every year, it is a perfect time for local businesses to show the world what Miami has to offer.
Bodega's born and raised in Miami, so it's only, safe to say we have to join Miami Open to be part of the culture of Miami Open, how big it is. We want to spread our love to everybody and show what Bodega's about. Bring a little spice to Miami Open, those spicy tacos, but it's just important about the culture stuff that we're buy locals, living for locals, and cooking for locals.
These Miami businesses have seen exponential growth in recent years, and only more is to come with exposure at the Miami Open.
To be here is one of our dreams, goals, and now we're recognized well.
Mackenzie Eason reporting for UMTV.
Thanks, MK. Up next on Sports Desk, Dylan Davis sat down with Cane swimmer Leah Treglia to talk about her experience here at the U. This and more after a short break. But first, it's time for some trivia. Miami may not have made the big dance this year, but which Cane scored the most points in an NCAA tournament game? Is it A, Jordan Miller, B, Cameron McGusky, C, Lonnie Walker IV, or D, Jack McClinton? The answer when Sports Desk returns.
Thousands of kids start vaping, and I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
All right, ladies, who is in the finals for your brackets?
I personally got Duke in Florida.
Okay.
I'm going Duke and Bama. You're going to disagree with that one.
I want Brian to win it all. I spent $1,000 on this.
Welcome back. If you guessed D, you're correct. In 2008, McClinton dropped a program record 38 points in a first-round matchup against St. Mary's. Whether it's in the pool, on the tennis court, or on the track, there's been a lot of action for Cane's Olympic sports. Our O Sports Roundup crew is here to fill us in. Guys.
Hello, Canes. Welcome back to another edition of the O Sports Roundup. I'm Ariel Lopez.
And I'm Luca Mucciardi. Ariel, I heard that Cane's track and field is going to start their outdoor season. What's going on over at Cobb Stadium?
Yeah, Luca, the Canes track and field team is set to kick off their outdoor season this weekend right here at home. The two-day Hurricane Invitational at Cobb Stadium starts Friday at 11 a.m. The Canes will compete against FIU, FAU, and more. In other exciting updates, Swim and Dive has won some great accolades. Luca, what have they achieved?
Well, Chiara Pellicani was crowned the national champion in the 1-meter springboard last week at the NCAA National Swim and Dive Championships. She becomes the 17th Hurricane diver to win a national championship in her final year here at the U. Ariel, I heard that women's tennis was up battling the Seminoles in Tallahassee. What happened there?
Yes, Luca, a tough battle for the Miami Hurricanes in their rivalry showdown against Florida State, but they came up short. The Canes fell 4-3 after a hard-fought match that came down to the final court. The Hurricanes will travel to take on SMU on March 23rd, looking to bounce back strong. Speaking of comebacks, tell us about the men's team, Luca.
Well, men's tennis was up in North Carolina last weekend to face #1 Wake Forest and #5 NC State, but they would fall 4-0, 4-0 in both of those matches. However, they bounced back well, and on Tuesday they got a 7-0 victory against Colgate. As a team, they only dropped 15 games out of all 8 matches, and now they have some momentum going into this weekend with home matches against Georgia Tech and Clemson.
Well, that's all we have for this week's edition of the O Sports Roundup. Tune in next week, same time, same place.
Thanks, guys. Tennis is often seen as an individual sport, but the Miami men's tennis team demonstrates that their bond with one another means more than just swinging a racket. Dara Karachi has the story.
At first glance, the University of Miami men's tennis players look like any high-level team, focused, competitive, locked in. But listen closer and you'll hear it. While they may speak different languages, what they've built here goes far beyond words.
You have to look some mother, father in the eyes and tell them they would take care of their children. So I don't take that lightly. It's a privilege, but it entails a huge responsibility.
That promise matters, especially for players like Nacho Sanchez, who left his home in Spain behind.
When I came to America, our situation was the same. It was tough for us to be away from our family. The culture that we have here, I think we are more than teammates. We're like a family. Here, I don't have any brothers, and for me, the tennis team, I would say that it's a family.
A common misconception is that tennis is largely an individual sport, not heavily reliant on relationships or communication for success. But these young men have proven that that couldn't be further from the truth. What they may lack in commonalities in terms of native countries or native languages, they make up for with their bonds, both on and off the court, as one team and one family.
But they also recognize that inclusion on the team goes both ways, and they've got a funny way of enforcing it.
We speak French or Spanish. We run a little bit as a little punishment. We start speaking Spanish or French. The people that they don't understand that language, probably they think that they are excluded of the conversation, and that's the last thing that we want.
5 countries, 4 languages, 1 team. The Hurricanes didn't just find a tennis program in Miami, they found a home in a family they chose. Dara Karachi, UMTV.
Guess on 3, 1, 2, 3, yes!
Thank you, Dara. Every athlete has their own game day routine to get themselves in the zone, and this cane swimmer is no exception. Dylan Davis sat down with Leah Treglia to talk about how she prepares for swim meets on Athlete of the Week.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Athlete of the Week. I'm your host, Dylan Davis, and today from Cane Swimming, I'm joined with Leah Treglia. Leah, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being here. So tell me, what is the culture like here at UM Swimming?
Yeah, so the culture is awesome. When I was going through the whole recruiting process, I was really wanting to come somewhere that I felt welcomed, and I felt that right away on the pool deck when I came for my visit. And ever since, the team here just uplifts everyone here. All the girls are so welcoming. I've never had a problem with any of the girls. They just make you feel like you're at home. All of the girls, I think as sisters, the coaches are so welcoming and so understanding about everything. And it's kind of just such a freeing environment to be with all the time. We're together all the time. So just being with each other and working with each other 24/7, it's really nice to have teammates who are more than just teammates, and they're more of friends and family.
I love that. And so what is your game day routine like? How do you prepare physically and mentally before a meet?
Yeah, so usually the day of a meet, we will start with having practice in the morning, usually for dual meets, and we'll either have a warm-up the night before, but really trying to lean on my teammates and my coaches. I feel like that energy is what I thrive off of, so just being there with the team and the atmosphere leading up to that, either if it's hours or the night before, just trying to disconnect from what's actually going on the next day or what I'm going to actually be competing in, and just relying on my teammates to let me thrive off of that energy and confidence. I think that's what really helps me succeed.
That's so important. I love that for you, and I wish you the best in the rest of your season.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And that's all for this week's edition of Athlete of the Week. Back to you guys.
Still ahead on Sports Desk, you'll hear how the creation of IM Beach Volleyball gives students an outlet from the stress of school. Don't go anywhere.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire. How to control the flames. What to do with hot coals. How to secure your chains. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
There's no better place to play a beach sport than in Miami, and UM's intramural beach volleyball team takes full advantage of the South Florida sun. Madison Block has the story.
The University of Miami is known for its top athletes, including its Division I women's volleyball team that competes at the highest level. But what about the rest of us? Here, at the beach volleyball courts near Lakeside Village, is where students compete through the intramural beach volleyball program. The program invites players of all skills to join and compete with friendly competition. Whether you're an experienced player or just want to have fun, you and your team can compete in a low-risk, high-energy environment.
And I started doing the intramural volleyball Sands League because I'm a competitive person, and it's a good way for me to channel my frustrations that I may have with life. You know, I get an F on my test, and I can come out here and just let off some steam with my friends.
For some, the program provides a structured environment where they can engage in organized sports, similar to what they may have done in high school.
My friends and I really like playing volleyball, and we wanted a way to play that was really fun and not as high commitment. So we kind of just found this looking around in the wellness center, and we thought it would be a fun way to work out and be together.
The program is a healthy option for exercise that offers a way to de-stress from academic life.
Yeah, so it's a healthy competition where you can meet some cool people and get some activity time. You know, I don't always feel like going to the gym, so I can just come out here and run around, dive around a little bit, have some fun.
Games are held once a week, so it's the perfect mix of competition and recreation. For those who are looking for a way to connect with others, it's a great opportunity to meet people. Whether you're playing for fun or to improve your skills, the intramural beach volleyball program is a great way to stay active and stay involved. Madison Block, UMTV.
Thanks, Madison. Every year, March Madness brings us some magical moments. And Alabama State and St. Francis got things started with a Hail Mary for the ages. Let's take you to Dayton for the first four matchup that ended with a bang. Just a couple seconds left in this tied game. Micah Simpson throws in an unbelievable pass. Anyone there to catch it? Amar Knox with the Hail Mary for Alabama State. You can definitely tell Simpson played quarterback in middle school with this long pass. Alabama defeats St. Francis 70-68, ending their chances of advancing in March Madness. And that is your play of the day.
12-seed McNeese State stunned 5-seed Clemson last night in the first round of the NCAA basketball tournament. And the Cowboys team manager is taking the internet by storm. There he is, Amir Ora Khan, walking the team out with that boombox that the internet is just obsessing over. He's been hyping up the team all season, but last night, at the most important game of the season thus far, his energy truly fueled that stunning win. Here they are celebrating in the locker room again with the boombox, but I personally saw this coming from a mile away, and I actually picked McNeese to beat Clemson in my own bracket. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't when you have a guy like him on the team. I mean, Jordan, that kind of support is unmatched.
I mean, what an energy he brings to the arena. We need somebody in studio with a boombox like that. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight on Sports Desk. Thank you for tuning in.
We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Have a great night.